side by side.
Chad, welcome to the live. All right, Chad, if you could see me, let me know. Pop it in the comment section down below. Let me know that you're here. You can see me. I think it is working. All right, so what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be looking at US 30. We're going to be testing out a Strat called the Grubber kick, or the EQ Strat, something that Keen Van Dyke came up with from the 2Gs. This is his Strat I'm borrowing from. So yeah, super excited to test it out. Now, I have not done extensive back testing on this yet myself, so we're going to back test this together a little bit in real time. Menti, what's up, guy? Hope you're doing a good one. All good. Okay, cool. Glad you guys can hear me. Glad you guys can see me. Audio good? Let me know. Let's get some background music going here. Get a little something. Here, they have like a little playlist. This is non-copyright, right? No. This looks like it is. There's proper little music here. Hold up. Need something that won't choke us. Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so just to look at an example of a trade, I'm actually in one from this morning. Broke the Asia lows. I took it from the bottom of that candle in. Looks like we're coming back. I'm already at break even on this trade. Sounds a little loud in my ear. I'm already on break even on this trade, so it looks like we're retracing back. So we'll see how this is going to play out. Today is CPI, so don't know what's going to go on with it today. But this is an example of how the trade sort of works. So took it as a break of Asia lows, and what we're, in theory, how the strat normally goes, what we're aiming for is the EQ. Now, EQ is quite extended far away today. And with CPI today, this may or may not play out. Now, my bias for CPI would be good for this trade. But yeah, I am at break even though, because if we do come back up, I do suspect we're gonna maybe retest Asia lows, maybe test for Asia highs. It's already 12 o'clock, 2.5 hours till CPI, so unsure how this is gonna play out. But just to be safe, went break even on this. So this is an example of the trade we're going to be back testing. What I'm going to do now is just set up a new US 30 chart, just so that I don't mess with my existing chart. There we go, and we are going to. No, I don't like Black Bulls 1. Wait, I remember Black Bulls 1 gave me slightly conflicting. What's this thing? Let's go with FXCM. That's the thing with these things, where they put their EQ and all that. Different charts have like different ways of doing it. I'm not sure I fully understand it, but this one seems to be the closest one resembling my broker feed. So we're going to work with that. So let's go ahead and rewind time to, let's say, beginning of September would be a nice place to start. 2nd of September was the Monday. So just run it through a couple ground rules of how this is going to work out. So I predominantly trade this on the 15-minute time frame. Hey, Dylan Savage, what's up, my man? Hope you're having a fantastic one. Thanks for joining in. So I predominantly trade this on the 15-minute timeline. So what we're trying to do is we're essentially, so the Grubber kick is the Grubber kick strat is essentially two strats together. There's the EQ strat and the Grubber kick strat. The EQ strat is the more reliable one of the two. It's the one I suspect is going to have the higher win rate. But basically what it boils down to is you're trying to trade the move. Now, the theory behind it, let's start from the beginning. The theory behind it is that on US 30, at some point, US 30 is going to want to return to the EQ or go to the EQ of the day. And from there, it's either going to want to reverse or continue through that EQ for a significant move. So in a situation like this where the EQ is down here, the idea would be if you break below Asia lows and hold, that there's going to be some downward pressure coming down towards the EQ at some point in the day. And from that EQ, you can either expect actually, let me use these little arrows here to properly illustrate my train of thought. Which are those little there? That one, no. So, like a situation like this is where you'd get a break of Asia low, perhaps a little retest, some downward pressure down to the EQ, and then from the EQ, you would either get bullish pressure up. We know that US 30 has been predominantly bullish in its nature the last little while, or from here you would get a break past down to the daily S1. So you're expecting one of these two moves to take place, all depending on what your overall bias on the day is. So in a situation like this, if we maybe go to the daily, is that not going to move things, eh? Yeah. So if we go to where the daily is, we can see on this Monday where time is right now, we had a close here. A lot of bearish pressure down, a lot of bullish pressure up. And we are, is this all-time highs? What is this? And we're heading towards all-time highs here. So I would expect all-time highs to be taken at some point here, hoping for a retest of the EQ. Now, where's the EQ actually? We have the daily pivot here, EQ down here. So if we went down to the EQ, it would reverse this entire move, break its low, and come up. So we could see a day like this where we're not going to go down to the EQ at all whatsoever. We're just going to continue up, trying to catch maybe a trade on the all-time highs there. Let's go to the 4 hour. How's the 4 hour played out? So the 4 hour, oh, that's a Sunday. I mean, something. This 4 hour was the Friday one. This 4 hour is the Sunday when this actually starts, and that's the Monday. Trading up here. Why does the daily show this massive bottom wick here? Oh no, I was looking at Friday's one. Here's where we are. Oh. It just looked a little, okay. I see where I went wrong there. Okay, so yeah, so we would expect this to retest, grab liquidity at the EQ, bounce back up, target those all-time highs. That would be the thesis I would go for this trade. Now, granted, this is not my strat. I'm not the one who came up with it. So my interpretation of the strat may not be the most correct interpretation of the strat. But like I said, first time I'm back testing it, this is what my thesis would be for this day. This was the Tuesday. We're still in the Asia range here, so what we're going to do is we're going to reverse price. I normally start trading around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, so we're going to go and fast forward price till about then. And anything that happens before then, none of our concern. Okay, so here's where I would start looking at the charts. We're dancing in the Asia range, which is good. First prize would be if Asia highs are taken out first. So if there was like a little wick or a close above Asia highs and then a drop back to Asia lows, then we could be fairly confident that we're probably going to come retest the EQ. So that would be first prize. Second prize would be just a straight up close below Asia low. So let's see how this would work out. That is not a close. Test it. There we go. So we got a close, a 15-minute close below the EQ there. Right now, what my working plan on the strat is to take a young... This is a different counting system that I'm used to. Wait a second. I want a nice little 10 pipper. So 10 pips below that. So about there. And then stop loss, I've been playing around with 40, which I guess here would be 4,000. That's 40, right? That was, yeah, 4,000 is 40 pips. Lekker. Okay, so ideally, if you really wanted to be safe, your stop loss would cover Asia highs because we haven't tested Asia highs yet, but then the risk to reward gets all screwed up. Now, TP1 could possibly be this daily pivot right here because we could just retest the daily pivot and shoot up from there, at which case you'd get a just over a 2R trade. Second prize would be the EQ, which would get you just under a 4R trade. So, let's say we were greedy, we went for the full Monty here. Let's see how that would have played out. Now again, I don't have any particular rules for this strat for myself yet, because I haven't fully back-tested it yet. So, we're going to sort of develop the rules as we go along based on the results of this back-testing session. So I'm not going to manage it, I'm just going to see how it played out. But we can see we came devilishly close to the daily pivot and had a reversal from there. So if this was our take profit 1, this is likely where we'd look at setting break even, taking a couple things off. We didn't quite reach it, which would have been unfortunate for this trade because most likely would have just left it alone. We also have the 200 EMA, which can be used as dynamic support. Haven't quite tested that yet, so leaving this trade open wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. However, we did trade about 80 pips down, so this would have been about 2R. Yeah, so if you had done a mechanical 2R, that's what you're looking for, would have hit TP. But like I said, we were greedy on this one, looking for the full Monty, just to see how this is going to play out. Keep it going, and that would have taken us out there. So already we can see, okay, cool. 1 out of 1. 2R seems to maybe be a good place to sort of want to come out. Particularly, like I said, this wasn't ideal because Asia highs weren't tested yet. So there was always a possibility we'd go back for Asia highs. So maybe you want to cut this at 2R. Maybe you want to be greedy and get the full thing. Let's see. So trade 1, so this is the Grubber kick, the move towards the EQ. The expectation would be at some point, either now or in the distant future, we would want to return to this EQ. This is already, when did New York hit? New York gave us this volume to the downside, backed up. So past 530 probably wouldn't take anything else. So we're going to start a new day. But we did get a good majority of the direction right because the rest of the day moved away from the past Asia range, back into the Asia range, tested Asia highs, and then we somewhere ranged in that position. So the bulk of the move for that day, we pretty much caught. I can't speak. Let's rewind back to, what did I say, 7 o'clocky? Okay, so 7 o'clock, we're at the charts, new day. This is the Tuesday, the 3rd. So now, typically I've heard Keegan say that when the EQ is in the middle of the Asia range, you can expect it to be a very big day that day. So here we can't really play the EQ strat exactly because it's within the Asia range. It's likely going to go to Asia highs, Asia lows, everything in between. We also have this interesting price action where the daily pivot also within here, and the daily S1 also within here. Reason why all of these are so clustered together is because of how tight yesterday's range was. So we broke to the downside, we broke back to the upside. Downside was from sort of 9 o'clock, and by 10:30 we're already back to right where we came from. So it spent the majority of the day trading in a very tight range. This is why the daily pivot EQ, daily S1, and all of that are within a tight range, because even during Asia, we didn't really move past that. So with a situation like this, what we could look is if we break and hold below the daily S1, we're likely going to go to the daily S2. So I would look for sells if we were to break and hold down the daily S1. We broke and closed below once, so maybe I would be conservative and wait for a hold below Asia lows. Other than that, if we broke and held above the daily pivot and Asia highs, I would look to trade this up to the daily R1. That would be the plan and thesis for this day. But instead of using the EQ as what we're trading away and towards, we'd be using the daily S2 and daily R1 in place of the EQ, because the EQ is in the middle. Also, because the EQ is in the middle, we would be expecting quite a volatile, really big day. Because we had a small range yesterday, small ranges lead to big ranges. So let's see how that would have played out. I think we'll be conservative, wait for a break and close below Asia lows. We're retesting the EQ. Retesting the EQ again. Asia highs. If we close above Asia highs, might take that. And then we have this explosive move to the downside here. This is after the daily pivot was tested, broke down, closed below the daily S1, Asia lows. I think because we broke and closed below, although we did bounce on previous daily lows, right? This is a tricky one. Okay, we'll take an aggressive entry here, right where price is. I think let's go with that 40 pip stop and then try and head for daily S2. Seeing as we're so close where the daily S2 is, close there, an explosive move away. We might still retest this daily S1. We broke clean from the EQ, haven't retested it again, although we did do that during Asia. So we've bounced around the EQ quite a bit, so a test of it may or may not be necessary. Minty saying, buy stops on the previous daily low. So you're, okay, so you would want it to hit the previous daily low and buy from there. That is definitely valid. Definitely valid. Let's see how it plays out. Again, I don't have much experience trading US 30, so we are discovering in real time here. But if you had put the buy stops at the previous daily low, you've at least gotten a really good price action there. Let's see what that would have done. Went straight for daily S2 and then bounced off the daily S2. Buy stops from the daily S2? Maybe, possibly. What time was this? Still very early in the day. So imagine, all of this entire range took a whole day to do, and we did this much bigger move just in 2 hours of London Open. Okay, I think I'll just see what price does from there. Okay, we went to the daily S3. This is, I think, either a monthly pivot we went to, so that could have been a bigger target for us, although we did get almost 2R on this one. That would have been the safe target. The weekly pivot, this being a Tuesday, would have been another target to go for. Monday and Tuesday normally set the direction for the week. So if we look at the daily, got this massive bearish move the Tuesday so far. The Monday sort of within that. So what could expect is this is creating the bottom wick for the week, would be the expectation. Let me just hide this. So the expectation is this might be just creating the bottom wick for the week, with it to continue higher to go on, because overall on US 30 we have been super bullish. If you look at the weekly trend, it has been super bullish since this bullish run started in October of 2022, and it has been on a bullish run since. So this could be just creating the bullish, the bottom wick on this candle if it's going to continue bullish, or just the internal pullback before the next bullish run. So considering that, what I would attempt to do is, if we can catch a nice dip similar to where we are now, and you kind of buy here, the expectation might be to try and hold buys till, where's all-time highs? Where is all-time highs? That might be a cheeky little play. Okay, so we set all-time highs here. Yeah, so the further we can get away from those all-time highs, the better, with the expectation that we would go back to them at some point. All-time highs. Now, is this enough of a little thing? I don't think so, but let's discover. Let's find out. Okay, so I don't think we would try and buy just yet. EQ still there. If we break above Asia highs again, might try and go for the all-time high play and beyond, because we are fairly close. Yeah, let's see how that would have played out. What would have happened? I'm actually hoping for further sell side movement. I want a proper little dip there. Ah, there it goes. This must have been used and juiced though. What time was this? Not even, Chad. This is just New York Open. Proper. And you see what I said about the 200 EMA being a dynamic support and resistance? Came right there. Just came to tap it. Dropped like a mofo. Where did this thing go? Is this a yearly, weekly support one? Okay, I think that would be us out for the day. Can't catch a falling knife like that. But now, what I was saying about trying to buy to all-time highs, maybe we have enough distance. Jeez, this thing fell. What time is it? Set the Asian range. Let's go until about 7 o'clock. But Chad, let me know if this is making sense so far, and if I'm articulating this properly. It's targeting the previous EQ. Could be. Let's see here. Guess you, what a week. Full on, just tanked. Now, if we look at the average length of the corrective pullbacks that we've had, the last 3. Total here was 2,000, almost 3,000 pips, 2,800 pips. We look at this, 2,000-ish. We look at this top to high, 2,800-ish. So overall, this bad boy, on average, still a little short. So does that mean we could expect more? And the rest of them look about the same too. So does that mean we expect more bearish action? Let's see. And then on the daily, yeah, we just had that one little. Yeah, we could maybe expect a little bit more bearish action. Mostly neutral. But let's see what would present itself. So here we had a little bit more of a ranging Asia. Started off high, came down, set the bottom. EQ being, where would the EQ for this be? Above. So what I would look for here is first prize, a break of the previous. Who's trying to call me? Keegan will. Oh shucks, it's been half an hour already. One sec, Chad. Sup, Keegs? Hey, outside. Up. Zero issues, man. See you in a bit. Okay, shot. Bye. Chat, we got big things happening. So I'm going to have to cut this a little bit short, but we can do one more trade. So what I would expect here, I would hope for break of previous daily lows, break of previous daily highs and hold, and now try and ride that up to the EQ. That would be the thesis for the day. I am still expecting an overall bearish move, but I would expect a little bit of a pullback after all this bearish action. Maybe even trying to short this from the EQ, maybe daily pivot because how extended the EQ is, how far away it is. So maybe daily pivot. Yeah, that would be the thesis I would be going for in this trade. Let's see how that would play out. Okay, a nice little little take of the previous daily lows in Asia low. Now for that break to Asia. Hey, slow down, you bastard. Slow down, you bastard. Okay, so we had a very, very, very explosive take there. Where the retake, it closed above. So here we would have to decide with a candle like that. Or rather, I'd have to decide. Because what I like typically doing. Jeez. Okay, so it closed somewhere there. So with this, retested the weekly S1. Came back, closed bullish above Asia highs. But one would argue, okay, listen, it almost went for the daily pivot. Does it still want to take the daily pivot? Yes or no? Or is the daily S1 enough of a liquidity sweep to want to continue further bearish action? Also, is this enough of a pullback to get enough liquidity for further bearish action? This is one of those like tricky ones where like didn't quite touch the 200 EMA either. We might potentially want to take the risk, assuming we want a little bit more liquidity. Enter at the close of that candle. 40 pips, somewhere there. And then just a short little grub. Still a nice 3R though. Given how explosive this was, and this is, what's this thing called? This is New York Open. This is after the 15-minute shuffle, so it's going to be a little less volatile, but like the size of that candle versus where the stop loss is, it might still want to retest Asia high. Yeah, this would have been a tricky one. One might maybe do a 60 pip stop and try and take it from there. Still get almost a 2R trade. Again, we don't have rules yet, so machine gun for the win. Let's see what would have happened. Oh, just survived that. That's 60, the 60, what's the thing? The 60 pip stop loss. That's a very good idea there based on the volatility. So as we can see, went for the EQ, reversed back. And like I said, the actual strat here would have wanted us to take it from the EQ. 40 pip stop there. And this trade, let's assume we cut it at the daily pivot just to be safe. We saw it continued, we were heading for the EQ. And now what would have been, I think, a trade, because we're still expecting further bearish action, is try and take it to the daily S1. If that plays out, I'm going to be so chuffed. What time would this have happened? 5 o'clock, still within reason. Okay, let's see what would have happened there. I think it would have stalled at some point. I'm hoping it wouldn't have reversed. Would have gone break even at this point. Going into the next day. Okay, this is the last one I'm doing because I really got a jet. Okay, A lot of exciting things to do. Guys, be on the lookout later today. Awesome announcement's going to be coming out. Now, would I have held that overnight? I don't know. Am I wanting to swing trade this? How confident in it am I? Okay, let's see what happened here. EQ, again, in the middle of the Asia range. So today's going to be a big day. Looking at the weekly, I think we would have retraced. No, because we broke below. So we would have been, yeah, towards the bottom there. Daily, what's happening? Something's not quite working out right. I suppose because this isn't a up-to-date, because the replay. Because I'm like, we have a little bit of a bottom wick here on the daily, but on the weekly, it's not quite showing that yet. But probably because of the error in just the way the replay works. So we've created a bottom wick on the week. Took out that bottom wick's low. So we may or may not be done with this little pullback here. We know on average it goes to about 2,000 to 2,800. This one is still 1,000. 2,000 would be all the way down here. So we could expect more bearish action. Maybe, maybe not. Already in the shorts there. So I think we'll take it again. We'll just look at how it reacts with the Asian range. Breaks below, breaks above, we go in that direction. Okay, nice little break above there. We didn't quite test the Asian low. We are hitting the 200 EMA. Retesting Asia high. So... but what's this right here? The weekly S1. Doesn't give us much of a vantage point above here. Okay. What I'd maybe do is, if we break above there, take a young 40 pip. I'll go 1R. I have no confidence in this trade though, but we're fact-finding right now. And then test the EQ, broke above the EQ. If we close below the daily pivot again, I'd ride this down to Asia low or previous daily lows. Okay, let's see how that played out. Okay, that broke below, just huge wick, massive rejection. That could have tapped you in on spread, and that would have been tragic if that had. Didn't tap the actual thing on TradingView, but on spread that might have got you in. So I maybe want to do, what time was this? 2:30. Oh, this would have been news, so probably would have stayed out. But if we ignore news days for now, I do like to consider news when I do my back testing later on. Actually, I don't know how to enter this. How would I have entered this? Broke below, came above. Looks like it's going to close soft bullish. I think I would have left this out, eh? Especially with it being news. The bulk of this move already done. We do have Asia lows still. Yeah, let's just see how this would have played out. And there we go. Well, the good news is, if you had kept this order in and it hadn't tapped you in on spread there, this would have worked out beautifully, I think. Let's see. Would have tapped you in. Would it have gone down and up for us? Now would have tapped you in, hit TP, then sank like a rock. And then would have... Yeah. Okay. So we can see, Chad, this strat still needs some clearly defined rules. A lot of ways you can enter. US 30 is quite volatile, but you can see how using the EQ, daily S1, daily R1, and the Asian range, try and get some direction. Right now, we have not hit, we went break even on this, have not hit it yet, still in this firmly. If this hits TP, that would have been a 13R trade. A young little 1R we may or may not have taken there. A young little 1.7R there. A negative 1R there. So far the strat has some potential. It has some potential. Winning big so far, but like I said, we've only done 4 days worth of back testing, so that does not statistics make. But some interesting stats preliminarily coming through. So I think we're gonna be doing this again next week. Next week we'll probably do a long 1 hour, hour and a half sesh. Today, got a lot of things to be doing in the studio. Again, big announcement happening later today. Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below if you enjoyed this. After we're done with US 30, what would you like to see me doing next? We did gold previously for 5 sessions on the Turtle Wave Strat, so you can go ahead and check that out on my channel. And now we're going to be doing US 30 for a bit. And there is a added confluence I added to the Turtle Wave Strat, so I think at some point we'll revisit gold in the future as well. But if you enjoyed this, let me know how you enjoyed it, and yeah. We'll see you guys in the next vid. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Share this with your friends who are struggling, and maybe we can learn a thing or two together. Alrighty, Chad, have a fan-freaking-tastic one, and we'll see you soon.